So yeah, I think if I was a human scar, I'd be a badass scar for real. But if y'all want to see how I achieve this look, keep on watching. We about to jump all into it. What's poppin' YouTube? It's your girl L, and welcome to the Slay Report. Today we got a very dope show for you guys. We are going to be transforming ourselves into scars. So I did this look yesterday, and I did not think it would get the feedback it did. A lot of people was like, "Hey, is it on the Slay?" And I'm like, "No." So that is why we are getting ready to film this whole entire tutorial. Is really quick and easy. It didn't even take me that long. I mean, I don't know if it's because I'm a pro or because I got the juice, because I got the sauce, but y'all get it. So I'm gonna show y'all how to do it. All you really need, man, you don't even really need a lot of stuff to do this look. So keep on watching, y'all. If you guys are not following me on social media, make sure you follow the Slay Report on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, so you can check the look out. The pictorial to the look is actually on the Instagram account, so make sure y'all go check it out. But if you want to see the video tutorial, keep on watching. Okay, so the first step, you want to make sure you prime, because it's like really important. We're using a lot of products, so you want to create a protective barrier for your skin. So I'm priming with the Tarte Base Tape hydrating primer, and I'm just putting it all over. Now for the parts where I'm going to be using foundation only, that's what this purple compact is. This is also a primer, but it's also a pore balm. So I'm just filling in where I do have like a lot of pores there. So this is going to fill those pores so you don't really see it through the foundation. And for brows today, we are using the Anastasia Brow Definer in the shade Granite, however you want to say it. So I'm going very high up with my arch, because my brows can do that, because I could change the shape of them so much. They so thin, it's like possible. So we are just going to pretty much carve out the shape of the brow and fill it in with the pencil, and do the same thing for the other brow. Okay, so to really carve out those brows and clean them up, I'm using this kit called the Brow Kit from TG Supply. Y'all seen me use this kit before. Like, I would not use anything else for my brows ever. So I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer to go ahead and clean up the bottom brow, and we're going to pretty much do the same thing for the top part of the brow. This kit comes with like 6 different brushes, and you can do so many different looks with these. And I'm just so like proud of this whole entire kit. Like, I'm gonna go ahead and tag them in the description box so y'all can find them on Instagram. They don't have the light kit anymore, and that's the kit I'm using. They only have the pro, and they're getting ready to pretty much revamp the light kit, so that's why they discontinued it. But yes, we are using that to go ahead and clean up the brows. And man, I'm telling y'all, this kit is life, yo. Okay, so to prime our lids today, we are using the P. Louise base in Roomba number 3. If you do not have this base, it's okay. You can use any type of concealer. I would always recommend using Shape Tape, because I do like Shape Tape. I like how thick it is, and it's a crease proof concealer. And same thing with P. Louise, you know what I mean? It's crease proof as well. And I like the way it just makes your shadows really like blend nicely, and it doesn't crease your shadows either. So you want to pat this all over the lid. Don't swipe it on there. Just pat until it's completely blended out. Okay, so for eyeshadow, we are using 2 different palettes. The first palette we're going to use is the Crayon Cases, the Matte Book, because this is going to be a smoky eye. We have to transition. So I'm transitioning with the shade from the Matte Book. It's like a brown, earthy tone shade. So we're going to use that as our first transition shade. So we're pretty much just going to be blending that all over the lid and then going back and forth. And then taking the other shade from the Beauty Bakery palette, which is the Do It for the Gram palette, and they have like an orange shade in there, and I really like that one. So I really wanted to, like, just have that as my background, because I just wanted it to look nice. So I'm just layering that orange shade on top and just kind of blending that with the previous shade from the previous palette. And then you want to just make sure that you just have an empty brush handy too, so that you can really blend those 2 shades together. Blending is key. You're going to be here for a while, so just blend for your life. Next, to achieve that dark smokiness, I'm using this Batter Black base from P. Louise. If you do not have this base, it's okay. Use a gel eyeliner, because that will pretty much be your best friend. So you're going to put that on the free space of your lid where you did not use your transition shades at. So just at the bottom of the lid, and just kind of pat it on in like a patted motion, because eventually you're going to take a black eyeshadow and put it on top of this base, and then you're going to blend it out. So just make sure that you putting it in the designated areas that you want, and then we're going to go ahead and blend it out with a black shadow after this. Taking that black shadow, you want to just pretty much just blend together with your transition shade. If you need to add more of your transition shade back because you lost it, do that as well. And just kind of like blend those two areas together. Like I said, keep you an empty brush handy too, because it makes blending easier. You want it to kind of fade into each other. So now I'm just taking that black shadow that I used to kind of like fade my transition color together with my smoky eye color, and we just gonna pretty much smudge that black shadow into our lower lash line. Okay, so let's get into the face of Scar. So we pretty much going to do the actual mouth, and I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the shade Tan Sand, and I'm taking my sponge to blend it out. I didn't want to use white because I felt like white wasn't going to look as realistic as I wanted it to look. So I'm just using my sponge to pretty much, go all over the areas. And if you need to apply a little bit more concealer, you can go ahead and do so. So I just drew the lines from the sides of my nose down. And yeah, you can actually use your own smile lines to be your guide. So pretty much like if you just smile and go ahead and just like crack a smile and you see those lines, just use those lines as your guide. If you want to trace this out or map it out prior to doing this step, you can also do that with like a white pencil. Okay, so next up, because Scar had a tannish look, I'm taking the foundation from Juvia's Place in the shade Somalia 350, and it is a tad bit darker than my natural skin tone, because you do want to go darker with your foundation for this look, and you only want to put the foundation on the top half of your face because the bottom half is where our beard is going to be. So I'm just pretty much blending the foundation out in the areas, leaving like my areas where I will contour it. That's going to be my guideline for my beard. So I'm just blending it out with this Real Techniques brush, like so. Now I'm going into the Beauty Bakery palette and using that same orange that I transitioned with. I'm getting ready to apply that to the top half of my face. So even though I had put my foundation on, I needed to go a little bit darker and a little bit more orangey because I wanted this scar to look like as cartoon-like as I could possibly get it. So I'm just taking my brush that I use for my foundation, and I'm just going in with that orange shade, and we just putting it all over those foundation areas of the face. Next, we're going to take this bronzer and blush duo. It's brand new from the Lip Bar. This is in Double Date, and I'm just going to contour my nose, and I'm going to bronze with it. So I'm using my Morphe 360 nose contour kit, and I'm just kind of like mapping out the areas of where I want to contour it, and I'm just going to blend that contour out. And taking that same duo from the Lip Bar. And this is like a brand new product for them. I'm just going to pretty much bronze around the areas of my forehead and my cheeks. Let me move this mirror out the way because y'all can't see. I'm like blocking y'all view. I'm sorry. So yeah, I do love this this new launch from them. This is like perfect for summer, winter, fall. I just love bronzer, period. For Scar's nose, we are making an inverted triangle, and we're going down, and we're going to go to the outer part of the nose and just fill in all of those spaces. So you want to make sure you go to the middle of your nose where your septum is and draw a line down from your septum to your lip to connect the nose to the mouth, and then make sure you fill in all of those dead spaces. If you're not satisfied with how you drew your line out, make sure if you want to cover your whole entire nose, you can, but just make sure you keep that inverted triangle shape because that was the actual shape of Scar's nose. Now, the fun part. How he got his name in the first place, the Scar. Okay, so we're using Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in Tan Sand, and we're going to use the same brush from TG Supply that we use for our brows. And starting at the lower lash line, like maybe not in the center but off to the side, we're just going to draw an inverted triangle going down to make our scar. And we're going to fill in the dead space with the concealer. Now you can make this into any shape that you want, but keep in mind it's a scar. I wanted mine to look as realistic as possible, so therefore I'm not going to make like a huge triangle, but just one small enough to where you can see that it's in fact the actual scar. Okay, so for the top part of the scar, same thing, we're going to do the inverted triangle. However, it didn't come out to be an inverted triangle to me because Scar was on the left side of his face, and I'm right-handed. I'm right-handed AF, and it didn't come out to be the exact shape that I wanted, but you know, it's all good. We just gonna finesse it anyway. So we just gonna pretty much have it pass through and cancel out one part of the brow and just fill it in with the concealer. All right, so for this next step, I'm basically taking a black gel liner and I'm just going around the shape of the scar because I wanted the scar to look really realistic and I wanted it to pop out. You know, I could have left it alone, but I'm like, nah, I want to go ahead and put my little touch on it. So yeah, I'm just making it look very rugged, and I just feel like it made it look a little more realistic instead of just leaving it alone with the concealer. Okay, so now I'm going to do the beard, and I tried to point to it with my tongue, but I'm using one of the blacks from the Mehron Paradise paint palette, and this is a water activated paint palette, so you have to use a little bit of water to get the paints to activate. And I'm just pretty much drawing lines below where the foundation stops at, and then right next to where the mouth starts at. Well, stops at, really. Start, don't matter. Anyway, so I'm just filling in all of the dead space with the paint, and reapply as much as you need. You want this area to be really saturated with the paint because, you know, you want it to be as dark as possible. You don't want, like, you know, no streaks or anything like that. So fill it in as much as you can. So now we're taking a black eyeliner and we're just adding like little hairs. So I'm just using like little small strokes to make like little fine hairs all over the beard. And there we have the finished look. Let me know what y'all think. Sound off in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe if you're not already subscribed to this channel. And by all means, if you haven't seen the movie, go see it. For more of the Slay Report, please follow us on all social media platforms. Facebook ain't listed, but we on that joint too, though.